Hey everybody, this is Ethan Huggins, and this is
me,
Courtney Huggins, and this is the first episode of the Off the Top Rope podshow, the show where we talk about AEW Dynamite. This show was really just started because, we're just kind of bored, and because of all the coronavirus stuff, we've been just doing this really every week. Usually on the weekends we watch AEW Dynamite, and I'm a big wrestling fan, and
yeah, I like watching it, I guess.
Yeah, and so I kind of ringed our arm a little bit, and so we kind of decided to do this. But we wanted to do this. We just wanted to do this as kind of a test run, just to see if it would be something. If somebody watches it, that's cool. If nobody else does, that's cool too, or listens to it. My bad. I'm so used to video, and this is my first attempt at a podcast. How about you?
Yeah, I'm excited to do this pod show.
Why are you excited to do the pod show?
Because we're just gonna talk, and I like talking to you.
Why do you like talking to me for?
No idea.
So let's get back on subject. So I wanted to say thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, no problem.
And for a special treat for all you out there, we're gonna do this commercial free. That's right, commercial free. No Omaha Steaks, no razors that shave everything off, nothing. No commercials at all, okay? No commercials this time. Maybe next time if we get some sponsorship. We never know. We might get...
Cracker Barrel, we're talking about you.
Okay, you didn't have to say anything. Gosh, if we get a free mail, it'd be cool, I guess. But that'll be about it, though. Okay, so last week's episode on July 22nd, that was a pretty good episode. They just got out of Fyter Fest, and some big things happened. And now on this episode, we had 6 matches?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good card. Usually they try to have like 6, sometimes 5 if they have like bigger
7,
matches.
Actually.
All 7.
7.
Okay, that's a good match. That's good. Good because you have 20-minute time limits. It's 6 matches essentially. But if you
They have time limits on this?
Yeah, usually the title matches have an hour, except for the TNT title because it's a television title specifically. So they have about 20 minutes.
What about the brothers? Them brothers like they're from the 70s.
Oh, the Young Bucks?
Yeah, their name always skips my head. What about that match? If it's a no disqualifications match, can that go on forever? Or does it also have a 20-minute time?
It could. I mean, I don't remember what Justin Roberts, the ring announcer, said, but because they really didn't, it was kind of like one of those quote unquote unsanctioned matches. They don't have official rules. They just, a referee's only there just for the count 3.
Right.
Or if there's a submission, but usually there isn't a submission in any of those types of matches. But it just depends. But usually it's for television, it's 20 minutes unless it's a title match. Then it's an hour. But they hardly ever do that. I think the longest match they've ever... Bless you. The longest match they've ever had is continuously maybe 30 minutes. That was Omega and Pac back in February, and that was a pretty good match. Even though they went in overtime because they
my attention span's too short for that.
It can be
20 minutes tops.
Okay, well that's good, I guess. All right, so what match intrigued you on this episode?
They all had something interesting. The least interesting to me was the women's match because that was kind of cut and dry.
Why?
I don't know. It was just so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna hold a grudge, and we're done. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Well, the thing about that match was nobody knew anything about it. They talked about it the week before on Fyter Fest, but Ivelisse and Diamante, I don't know Diamante that well. I've never really seen her wrestle. And Ivelisse, I've seen her wrestle before, and she's okay. She is kind of legitimate. She is there's a promotion called Shimmer, which is all women's wrestling federation, and she was a world champion 3 times. That's pretty good. And I think she's had pretty good matches. She was on Lucha Underground, which is the kind of not even a soap opera, but it was more of an acting kind of wrestling promotion. And it was on El Rey Network, and it's pretty good. It's actually on Tubi. hopefully I'll try to watch all 120 some episodes. Not now. I got too much to watch right now with everything else going on. But yeah, like I'm kind of with you. That was probably like I wouldn't say the worst match of the night, but it was the one I was
least entertaining.
Yeah, because they were just like working the corner and the turnbuckle a little while, then they went to the outside the ring, and then like nothing really happened, you know. And so for them to like have worked together, I wish it was a little bit better. But at the same time, like you only have like 10 minutes to work with. It's hard to tell like a good story in 10 minutes unless you're just going like as fast as you can, and they work in like a more deliberate style on purpose. But then, you know, it kind of leaves like a taste in your mouth, like you want more. And specifically, like I'm glad you brought that women's match up too, because at the end of this summer, which is almost here, they're going to have like an 8-team women's tag tournament, which is really nice because, you know, like WWE has the women's tag team championships. And I don't think AEW would be doing that right now. I think they're fine with the 4 titles they have. They don't want any more because, you know, then every match would be a title match. And that's kind of like that's
overkill.
Yeah. And so I think with the 8 women teams, they'd be really good because they have quite a big like women's roster, but they just don't have enough time to put everybody in there. That's why like AEW Dark is like a really good a good ground to have more women's matches. And then plus they have a lot of enhancement talent come in and then fight, and you know their purpose is not to lose per se, but just like make the other person better. And so that's getting them a little bit, they're getting them wet more and getting their feet in the puddles.
Right.
So.
Yep. Anyways, the first match though, because if I don't go in order, I'm not gonna.
Okay, we don't have to go in any order, but sure.
But that is just really not the one that was least interesting to me. I don't have anything to talk about because I didn't care.
Yeah.
But let's start off with the Cody match, though.
Okay.
Because the first thing that I enjoyed after the homeless dude got in there and, you know, they started fighting.
Eddie Kingston, for those who were listening.
Yeah. And when they got in there, the first, like, main thing that happened was he ripped Cody's shirt off, and that was cool.
Why was that cool?
Obvious reasons.
Okay. Because you like that tattoo that says dream on his part. Yeah, that's it. She's a big stickler for tattoos.
No, not
that are personal people.
No, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of Cody's tattoos. But
what? You don't love the neck tattoo that he clearly got and didn't tell Brandy?
No. No, but that one was cool. I liked that one.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he was gonna bring out, because isn't there some wrestler that like has a bag of butter or sock of butter or something like that? Isn't there some wrestler that does that?
A sock of butter?
A sock of butter? Where have I heard that before?
I have no idea.
And I was thinking, how is that butter still solidified if it was under the ring?
They got a cooler under there.
That's refrigerated under the ring to keep the butter solid.
That's where FTR kept their cooler.
Yeah. That's where they keep the butter in the beer.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I first it was. And so that's why I was like, what is that? And then you said it was the thumbtacks, and that reminded me that that's what was supposed to happen, is the whole thumbtack thing. So
okay.
I was a little bit confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the whole thumbtack thing was stressful.
Why? Because he wasn't wearing anything and he just got slammed into it?
There were like at least 10 or 20 in each shoe. Mm-hmm. I hope their shoes are thick.
Nah, maybe. They're probably not that thick. So maybe. And plus you're wearing socks.
Yeah, I know.
But usually it's the more hardcore guy gets it thrown into him.
Yeah, but I never really thought that Cody was like that. I never thought he would do matches like that. Yeah. Now, Moxley, he's more...
He's done that.
He's a thumbtack kind of dude.
Him and Janela have done a match where they've involved thumbtacks, and Janela was the one who got thrown into that, but that's because they're both crazy, but yeah. But no, the things you do for the love of your sport.
I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I mean, so there's no telling how long it took to clean up all of that and
I know.
stitch it and put
right, because
antiseptic
it's not,
on it and
like ripping or and then you gotta put something to like clean up the germs from somebody else's blood.
yeah.
How does it not stain though? Does it wipe clean?
What?
The mat on the ring.
All right, so what they do is like they have like 4 or 5 mats on top of each other.
Oh, so they just take a layer off.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, that's smart.
That's what happened last week with the whole Orange Cassidy thing. Like they showed that on being the elite. Like they had like 20 people because they did it during a commercial break, so you had 2 minutes to take the tarp off. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they have like 3 or 4. It was especially if they know they're going to do something where it's going to ruin the
something
ring. Yeah.
But I mean, is it is a type of material to where it held all that orange juice and they just had to take one mat off and the second mat was clean?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, because then it would be bad if like there was still orange juice.
So through 10 layers of
That's why like it happened. The dude's falling down. I was like, oh my gosh, and then cut to commercial. Like, okay, let's do it. So it didn't have time to seep through.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That went to commercial right after it happened, so it didn't have time to absorb.
Right.
Just sitting on top there.
Except on Jericho's jacket.
That and that dude that was like rolling around in it afterwards. Yeah. I bet the guys that had to clean that up were like, just quit, stop.
Right.
You're gonna get into the next mat.
Right. But yeah. So, but that Kingston match was pretty okay. Like, I've never seen him wrestle. I don't really remember him. But it was really interesting that Excalibur, the guy with the mask, he's the more, like, nerdy of the announcers. He was talking about, like, the Kingston's color scheme for his shirt is based off a Japanese wrestler. It was really good. Like, he's one of the best to ever lived, and his name is Kawada, who I like a lot. What he would do, he'd kick the mess out of you or chop you. Like, legit, like, Bruce Lee chop you. And so, the Kawada guy.
Oh, not Excalibur.
No, I've never seen Excalibur wrestle. Oh. He's wrestled like a few years of his career, but he's been more of an announcer now. But that was interesting, and so like it was just funny just talking about how like Kingston was all like a grit and grind, and I'm from Memphis, but he was not from Memphis. I don't know where he's from, but and then like. Excalibur's like, yeah, like he watched the 4 Pillars of Japan, and like that's why he started wrestling. Like, for you to watch the 4 Pillars of Japan live, you had to trade tapes and go to the video store and go to get them specifically ordered. Like you couldn't it wasn't like it's so accessible it is now. Like you had to trade with other wrestling fans to get the matches. So I'm like, he's hustling for his wrestling. I respect that.
Kind of like how homeless dude said nobody else is hustling.
Yeah.
In the beginning match. Whatever his name was. Kingston, yep, that's it. What was his first name?
Eddie, that's
right.
Yeah. Homeless dude. Why do they gotta be homeless?
He just looked like a homeless dude. And that was his whole...
Well, yeah, especially when...
his story.
Yeah, and then you have Cody. Like, yeah, I'm Mr. Bread and Butter. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do with that psychology of the match. They were trying to rich versus poor. Rich won.
Typical.
Well, Cody did endure though, so that was nice. Change of pace with the thumbtacks.
Well, let's move on.
Okay.
To MJF.
Okay.
Scum of the Earth.
Your favorite? One of your favorites? Or
on my infamously unfavorite list.
Okay.
Although I do have to give it to him, he's a little thick in the booty.
Why is he a little thick in the booty?
He just is. You know, when he was standing by that Griff Garrison dude, like, he just...
Or Jungle Man?
Jungle Man, yeah. Was he legit related to Jungle Boy?
I don't think so. But
because he did look a lot like him.
A little bit.
But when he was standing next to the Griff Garrison dude, like, the Griff Garrison dude was really skinny, and he really made MJF look thick.
Like fat, thick?
Like thick.
Uh-huh.
Just thick with 2 C's at the end, you know what I mean?
Okay. Like dog thick? I got you.
Thick.
Okay.
So I'll give him that.
Uh-huh.
But he also a little thick in the head.
MJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he dumb?
Yeah.
Why is he dumb?
You just said he was.
When? I don't remember that. I don't have video evidence of this.
Oh my gosh. But that was a pretty good match because I guess most of the time you see MJF running around pretending to wrestle.
Yeah. Or having Wardlow.
Yeah, or when it's an MJF and Wardlow, that means Wardlow's going to take up for MJF.
Yeah.
And help him out.
Right.
While MJF steps to the side, kisses his pinkies or whatever he does, gets that ring out, and uses that secretively. But no, it's a really okay match.
Yeah, it was okay. Like, it wasn't... It was a typical MJF match, like...
Yeah. I guess just, like, seeing him actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Like...
Even though, like, they say that he's never been pinned or submitted.
Yeah, right.
He's never wrestled anybody except Cody.
Yeah, like, I've never been pinned, I've never submitted. Right, because anytime you get any time close to getting pinned, you scoot on out the ring, you scoot on under the ropes, and you start running around the ring, like, tagging base, and you ain't it. Like, that ain't the mess. That just... He cheats. He leads.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're undefeated.
Right.
That means you're just a chicken.
Okay.
That's what that means.
Well, he's the chicken of the earth.
He's the chicken of the earth. That's
right.
it.
Okay. All right, then what else happened?
Oh, yeah, and then the Machine coming out with his manager.
Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bodybuilder.
They've come out week after week talking about how Moxley has all these excuses. And then they come out like, I got an excuse for why we didn't win.
No, it was a business decision, okay?
Right. A business excuse.
A business decision. He didn't want his torn bicep re-torn.
Right.
Because Taz has had one, and he knows the pain. Not that Cage has already came back from one.
Right.
But it's okay. I understand that.
Excuses.
Well, even then, like, Moxley, he cut a really good promo talking about, like, I told you what I was going to do, and I did it. And I was, and even Taz alluded to it, was like, you're a man of your word. I understand. I appreciate that. You're a tough guy. But next time I'm going to get you. Probably not.
I mean, they complain about Moxley.
Right.
Just to come down to this, like, logistics. And oh, really? Because when you said that him staying at home for quarantine was a bunch of bull, and he should just quit hiding underneath his excuses and get out here. And then he's like, I have a business decision of a reason for why I threw in that towel and we left in a hurry. Like, really?
It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then Darby Allin came out and tried to attack him. And
wearing the same shoes I wear whenever I'm going out to eat.
Well, he can't help it. He saw your closet and was like, dang, I need those. So you better check them. But that'll be a really interesting matchup. I think they're going to set something up for All Out, and that'll be a good match. Because that'll be a good match for him to come back at. Because he hadn't wrestled in...
Who, Darby?
Yeah, he hadn't wrestled in a while.
Yeah, he don't really do much full-on stuff. He just kind of sneaks out and invades other people's matches.
But he's a good wrestler, though.
He can throw himself around. I'll give him
Yeah, because he's a professional skateboarder.
Is that what he is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a gimmick.
No, he said on record, like, he's a skateboarder who also wrestles.
Oh.
So that's something new to learn.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, and then we got the kitchen fight.
Oh, the Falls Count Anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Lucha Brothers?
No.
I mean, the brothers, the 70s dudes.
The Young Bucks?
Young Bucks! Oh my god!
The guys who co-own the company.
I really can't, for the life of me, remember. Who's the Lucha Brothers again? I forgot.
There's Pentagon and Ray Phoenix, the mask guys. The guys I like.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I don't like the Young Bucks, but...
Well, I like the Young Bucks, and I think they're cute, but...
You don't know their names.
I cannot feel... I struggle to remember what they're called.
It's Matt and Nick. Matt's the older one who's like 32. Nick is 28, even though they've been wrestling over 10 years.
Well, anyways, when the 70s dudes went into the kitchen and started fighting with the chef and the busboy.
The Blade and the Butcher, for those who don't know.
And they was...
Which I don't know who's who. Like
the chef, Chef Boyardee.
The one with the mustache,
yeah. And they was cutting that meat.
Uh-huh.
And then they just wasted it. Like, cutting raw meat is hard work.
Yeah.
And then it was just on the floor. Like,
well, then one of the Young Bucks slapped the other guy with it, so
I didn't even see that.
It wasn't wasted. I mean,
wasted.
No. And then
I wonder what kind of meat, how expensive that was. Like, how much money did they just throw on the floor in meat?
Probably like $10-$20.
Oh my god.
It was probably like a $2 steak.
Whatever.
JR's famous line, tougher than a $2 steak.
Jeez.
But yeah, that was a pretty good match. Like,
I think it was my favorite.
What I liked about it is like it really reminded me of the old WWE hardcore matches because like now you don't see that anymore. Like WWE has a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules, which that's what they call those matches now, Extreme Rules, where they just have props essentially. But like hardcore matches back in the day, they would go anywhere. Like one of the more famous ones actually happened here in Memphis. Like it was called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That was a pay-per-view. It was at the Pyramid. And it was Bob Holly and Al Snow. And Al Snow was like, he had like a little figurine or like a model head, called a head. Mm. Well, in the match, they were going throughout the pyramid and they went outside. And like they actually started wrestling in February weather in the Mississippi River. Yeah, and that was a cool match. And so that's why that match, the Falls Count Anywhere, really reminded me of, because they started in the back, they were doing this and this and this, and then used that U-boat and then went back into the ring and the finish was the swanton and the elbow drops through the table.
The what?
Swanton.
What is that?
The front flip where he lands on his back.
A swanton.
No, it's actually a swanton bomb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the elbow drop.
I like swantons.
Okay. That was a pretty good match.
Yeah, I did like it. I liked the ending. That was my favorite. Like, just them setting up the table. You know, Chef Boyardee and the busboy, they set up the tables. Yeah. And then they was getting ready to throw the 70s boys on it.
The Young Bucks, yes.
Yeah, and then they was getting ready to do that. But then the tables, no pun intended, were turned.
She intended it.
And they climbed up them rickety posts.
The steel beams that weren't supported by anything.
And jumped off of them.
Well, and that's the thing. They were going to fall eventually, so they either jump
or they just fell with the beams, and the beams landed on the people.
Yeah.
And that could have been a good way to get them out, too. But no, they jumped off of them and then pinned them, and it was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
I did like it.
Okay.
And I like, fun, entertaining, interesting things happen, but like it still wasn't too long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kept my short attention span.
Right. Well, even then, like those, their matches usually go long.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago when they were still in Japan, the Young Bucks. There was a spot like in the big WrestleMania match in January, Wrestle Kingdom. Matt hurt his back somehow, and throughout the entire rest of the year, anytime he got hit in the back, he was like, "Oh, my back!" going all the way back from January. And so, like the first time that he hurt his back, I was like, "Oh, is that old injury flaring up again, Matt?"
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, that was a pretty good match. I like that one. And then after that was the women's match, and then
the Hangman.
Yeah.
And 5. And then Hangman versus 5 literal people after that.
Right.
Because Hangman beat 5.
Yeah, and it was an okay match.
And then at the end when what's that Coal Eater guy's name?
Brody Lee.
Brody.
That was his wrestling name.
Brody.
This is his wrestling name before WWE even picked him up. Because he looked like an actor named Jason Lee. Okay. And so they were like, "Oh, we'll just call you Brody Lee."
Brody. All right, so Brody was inviting Hangman Page to his club.
Yeah. And which it's a callback to being the Elite, because, and I told you this during the episode, that Hangman wanted to maybe get some details about it, and it got lost in the shuffle. His paperwork got lost, and so he wasn't able to. So Brody Lee got super mad and started hitting everybody and throwing papers and getting mad.
Adam wanted to be in Brody's club, and they didn't step it up and get on it, and Adam got better. And then decided I didn't want to be in Brody's club no more, and then Brody got mad.
Right. And so he challenged him to eventually a match. But next week it's going to be Hangman and Omega versus the two of the Dark Order members, Evil Uno and the bald-headed one. I don't remember his name.
Not the short one, though, right?
No.
The medium-sized bald-headed one?
Yeah, the one with the face paint on.
Yeah.
And no mask, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be an okay match. They're a pretty good tag team.
I mean, the match with Hangman and Fire was really good. I liked it. I mean, Hangman's cute, so he looks good on any match.
Uh-huh.
But then at the end, till then, Brody, and I got it right. I forgot it already. Brody, yeah. He was like, all right, Adam, you want to join our club? And Adam was like, nah. And then Brody was like, well, all right then. And then everybody started going at him.
Well, the thing is, though, like, Hangman's like, I don't want to join your cult.
Yeah, right.
That's what made Brody mad.
Yeah, but it is a cult, so why is he mad about it? Like, he should call him out on something that's true.
Right.
But then he was like, all right, come on, and walked out and kind of sicked all of his dogs on Paige.
Yeah.
And then they just started beating him, and then what was it? Was it FTR that came out?
FTR came in there with the cooler, styrofoam cooler of beer.
Right, and ice, lots of ice.
Right.
And just threw it on the guys, and it just busted everywhere. And then Kenny Omega stood behind those steel beams and waited for stuff to cool down, and then came out like, oh, you guys need help.
I don't know. V-trigger.
Wearing his Disney World shorts.
Well, hey, it's hot in Florida right now, gosh. And they're outside, like, there's no AC.
So, like, little shorts.
Well, I mean...
He's not skipping leg day no more. Like, he's going to have to start wearing some legit...
What are you talking about?
He's always gonna be, like, since he's gotten bigger, he's gotten big up top.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens.
Like, he was skipping a few leg days at least.
Yeah.
And now he's not.
Yeah.
And those shorts aren't fitting him so good. Yeah. But, yeah, that was a good match, though. But then just even more of the tea between FTR and Hangman and Kenny.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like, so much friction.
I don't know, because they've been frictioned for the entire time. Like, just cut these guys loose. Let them do what they need to do.
Who? Cut who is?
Hangman and Omega.
Well, yeah, let them do their own thing, but because Kenny kind of wants to be like all loyal and stuff.
Yeah.
And Hangman's like, I'm just buddies with whoever. Don't beat me up.
I mean, that's a good philosophy.
I live by that as well.
But yeah, I mean, like, just let them loose. Let FTR get the tag titles in September. That all out, and that'll be a good match. I think that'll probably be the best match of the night, because I love FTR. Like, they're just a good,
I guess.
They're a really good tag team. And then, like, Omega and Paige have already had like a quote unquote 6-star match at one of the last pay-per-views. Not Double or Nothing, but the one in February, Revolution.
Yeah.
That was a really good match, and so, like, it'd be great to see them all 4 of them, like, just go in the ring.
I mean, I really feel like Kenny and Hangman are just good together because they're just good in general, like, by themselves. It's like good plus good is going to equal and obvious good.
And they're friends too, which helps, but at the same time, like,
they're iffy friends, though.
Yeah, well, they've been in the same, like, club for a while. Like, they were in the Bullet Club in Japan for a few years, and then they migrated to AEW, and so there's some history there.
Yeah. Well, as long as Hangman's still in the ring, I'll continue to watch with my full attention, both eyes.
Yeah.
100% of my brain.
Okay. All right. And the main event, ladies and gentlemen, was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus Jurassic Express versus Jericho and Jake Hager.
How do you pronounce it? Hager?
Yeah.
I always said Hager.
I think it doesn't matter. Hager, whatever. He's a hag anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just kidding. But that was an okay match. Like, I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus had a really good outing, you know.
Yeah. I really, 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 really wanted there to be cannons of orange juice coming in from the sides. From last week.
Well, especially when they first looked, everybody looked up.
Everybody's looking up. I just really wanted the moment that they looked up for orange juice to come from like the bottom or the sides, so, like all directions.
But then that would have been a match, though.
And then they had to wrestle Jungle Boy and them.
That would have been good. But that'll set up next week's 10-man tag really good with
That's
Jurassic Express and the Best Friends in Orange versus...
It'll be good, but... I don't know. It'll be good, but like I don't know. Like it's gonna be full of a bunch of cheating, and it's gonna make me mad.
Yeah, well, that makes her good entertainment. That's what they're trying to do.
They're only good at cheating.
Why?
Just that's how they are.
Because they're the inner circle.
Yeah, inner circle of cheaters.
Okay, I'll let them know that you said that, or they can listen to the pod show.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because at the end of the show, Guevara came back.
Right, that's true.
From his suspension. Had a really beautiful shooting star press. That was really nice. The movie did on Jungle Boy from the top rope. Yeah. The front flip.
That's what that's called?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite moves to see. But yeah, the Jungle Boy match was really good. Luchasaurus did really good. Marco interviewed a couple times.
Wait, which one's Marco?
The shorter one.
Oh, the little dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from South Haven.
He's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he can be.
He just always runs in, flosses, and then...
And leaves.
He runs in, he flosses, he hypes everybody up, and then he leaves. I mean, that's a pretty good... I would do that. I mean, if you don't have to get thrown around, well, which he did get thrown around tonight. Yeah. But I mean, that's what you get when you run and you jump and you put your legs around somebody's head.
And do a Hurricanrana.
Yeah. Okay. Which is just funny to see that with him and Jericho, because Jericho just gets mad at people. Right. Probably threw him off. You stupid idiot. Like.
Whispered it, stupid idiot. Stupid
idiot. He just threw him off of his shoulders. Right. Because that's all it took was a whisper. Right.
But yeah.
It was overall good. It was a good show. It got my attention. It's hard for me to watch with all of my attention the entire time. Yeah. If it does that, it did a good job.
Right. Well, then I'm the same way because you've seen me before. I just fast forward through it, or I always usually read ahead and kind of figure out what happened. See it read ahead, spend 5 minutes reading versus 2 hours. And
did you read ahead on this one?
Vaguely, I knew what happened, but that didn't mean I remember what happened. So, that's kind of why I'm getting back into, trying to watch it fully intent.
Because for those of you who don't know, we usually record it and watch it on the weekends when we can give all our attention to it. Right. Instead of watching it when it airs. Right. Because we're busy. Right. That's why we're doing this pod show a couple of days late. But that's okay. As long as we post this by, before the next episode airs, we'll be good.
Yeah, we got 3 days, so we're fine.
Oh, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Right. But, so next week's show, I think, really good. There's the women's title match with Shida versus Diamante. Now, that might be an okay match. Hopefully, Diamante can, step it up and deliver a pretty good match. And then there's the 10-man tag, like we said. There's Hangman and Omega for the tag titles versus Dark Order. And I don't remember what else is on the show.
I don't know, but I think we forgot to talk about the coolest thing that happened tonight, though, was when Orange Cassidy walked out and, Jericho and all of them ran away. That was pretty nice. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was cool. Kind of a good lead up to what's going to happen next week.
Right. I think, and I think that'll be a good match. Then there's also the Cody match. There's always a Cody match, and he's going against some guy named Warhorse.
Warhorse?
Yeah. Huh. And he's a guy who was a heavy metal guy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so he's kind of like Luchasaurus, but on steroids, and actually has metal music.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know how, that's 2 weeks in a row that Cody's gonna have a rough opponent.
A weird guy going up against. Right. Is he also an obscure dude like this one was?
Yeah, I've never heard of him, so I don't know anything.
Warhorse.
Yeah, Warhorse.
All right. We'll know more about Warhorse next week.
Right. But I think this will be the wrap of the show. I think we did a really good first show. We had a couple of guest appearances by Thumper and Major.
Yeah, our dogs, who are obviously in the background. Right. They cannot be not known.
Right, but that's okay. They want us to have some love too. But thank you for listening, and hopefully this will be a recurring thing, and if it's not, then oh well, at least we had some fun.
Right.
All right, well, thank you for listening, and tune in to next week's episode, hopefully, and y'all have a good week, everybody.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
All right, bye.